Welcome, everyone, to the Health Over Everything podcast, the number one podcast in health and fitness. I am Stephen Z.
And I am SoCal Gula. Today on episode 17, we're going to be talking about goals for the new year because
Perfect time.
2024 is coming up. It's a few days before 2024. The year is wrapping up. Everybody's getting their New Year's resolutions going. So I know
Mhm.
Steven's got some, right, Steven? You got some New Year's goals coming up yet?
Yeah, pretty much just keep on my little fitness journey, keep on with the nutrition, and also going to be trying to land a new job. That'll be my big one.
So is that even a goal? Like New Year's resolution, just keep doing what I'm doing? Is that a legitimate goal
Fuck yeah, it is
or
because
like
I'm
a New
already
Year's
I'm already
resolution?
doing it. I don't want to fall off my path, so as long as I stick to it, it's like a goal.
So what are you doing? Like you're saying, like you're working out how many times a week and eating on your macros every day? That's like what you're trying to keep up on, those two things?
Yeah. So I work out like 5 days a week and yeah, just pretty much keep my nutrition dialed in. Don't slip up, For like Thanksgiving, I might have went overboard. So on rare occasions, I may go over on my calories a little bit, but as long as I kind of remain or I'm able to get back on my path, then I feel like I'll be all right. And that's basically what I'm doing. I want to do this for the long term, make it like a longevity thing. I don't want to work out for 6 months and then something happens like all right, and then I quit and get fat and lose the abs, lose everything. So I would just want to make it more of a lifestyle change and just something that I'm able to stick with year after year after year.
So Steven Z's New Year's resolution is basically to keep on keeping on, keep on doing what he's doing, which is a good goal because it's not like easy to do what you're doing. Do you ever go over your calories besides, let's say, Thanksgiving? Have you done it before? Like, is that a normal thing, or do you just always stay on your calories?
I'm pretty on point with it.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, yes, I did go overboard a little bit, nothing too crazy, but other than that, I'm pretty dialed in. And even if I like have a plan of like eating out or anything like that, I'll find out where I'm going to eat, see what kind of food it is, and then try to guesstimate it to like the best of my abilities. Because I feel like at least trying to get a rough estimation, it's probably going to be pretty close to that.
Yeah.
But I still want to be able to live my life too. And if if
Yeah.
there's an event going on and there's going to be food there, I'll either eat before if it's going to be weird if I don't, I'll just figure out something that I could eat at the place. So
So, New Year's resolution goals, most people fail on them, right?
yeah, I have
Some people fell on
plenty
them
of
on the
time.
first day. Like they were like, I'm not gonna drink, and then they drink the very next day or something, or I'm not gonna smoke weed. They'll drink the very next day. And some people like will go for a week. We all know that the gym memberships all go up. There's a bunch of new people in there, which I'm not looking forward to in my gym.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today when I was there. I was like, there's nobody really in here today on this Sunday. But then like all of a sudden there's gonna be a shit ton of people in here. It's already kind of busy on the weekdays, but
Every piece of equipment will be occupied once you go in.
yeah. And then most people like quit in a week or a month. So
Yeah.
did you like let's just say like this year, let's reverse back into 2022 going into 2023. A lot of people made New Year's goals. So if you're listening to this, think about what New Year's resolutions did I did make and did I even conquer any of them or how long until I failed? So try to
Yeah.
not do that this year. But did you make any New Year's resolutions for this year, 2023, last year?
Yeah, I think I was still in my little funk of life, and I don't even think I made any. I didn't have any plans. I really didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
So,
no goals.
yeah, I didn't have anything I was trying to accomplish, or I guess, yeah, I was just kind of working on myself more mentally, but it wasn't like a New Year's resolution goal. It was like
Yeah.
something I had to go through, and I suppose I was in the middle of that process because it wasn't like that change happened overnight. It was like took over several months for me to get to the point where I was like where I'm at right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And specifically, you don't need to like make goals just for New Year's. And if you don't accomplish them, you're just like, oh, that's it. You can make goals in the middle of the year too. Like if you're in a funk like Steven was, you could like eventually down the year, a few months in or whenever, you realize or come to a realization or something happens, and then you can make goals then. So like you did eventually make goals
Yeah,
within the year, right? But you just didn't
yeah,
make them for New Year's
yeah,
Eve.
exactly. It's funny too. I feel like the New Year's resolution thing is almost like the I'll start Monday kind of a thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna get all
Yep.
my little jitters out and get all the bad habits out, and then January 1st is the day it's all gonna change. But for a lot of people, like, I've done it myself. I'm sure a lot of the people listening have done it too. It's like you don't end up starting, or if you do start, it's very short lived. And to me, it's just like that. It's a Monday thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna
They're not
start
about the
Monday.
life. They're not about that life.
It's hard. Like, I think for me, I was talking to my fiance about this. I'm like, the hard thing with change is like just the initial part of it, because you're doing things that are uncomfortable. It feels weird. It's hard to stick to because you're going out of your normal path, and everything just feels uncomfortable. But if you can stick it out for a while, then it becomes like it's your new life. It's your new comfort zone.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny how that happens. What about you? You got any resolutions for this year?
Well, we'll go
Next
back
year,
to
I guess I should say.
last year. Let's just start there.
All right.
2020 coming into 2023, I just had made one New Year's resolution, and that was to get a six pack. In order to get that, obviously you have to do a lot of things. You have to work out. You have to get them abs muscles built up. You have to
Yep.
lose the fat on top of the muscle, which I was around, I don't even know how much I was at the beginning of the year, probably around 210, 215, fluctuating to there. So I
Okay.
got down to 179. And so that's a funny thing about New Year's resolutions like that as well. So I made that last year. Like, oh, let's get some abs this year. Well, you technically have the whole year. So I was thinking like I could eat really bad and do all this bad stuff for a few months and then start working on it, even though the New Year's resolution was just to get a six pack by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So we have a couple more days till the end of the year here, and I could actually see like the six pack forming, but I don't really have the six pack like I wanted, like how yours looks or like how a real six pack looks. But I can actually see the muscles under the little bit of fat I do have, because I went from
Yeah.
210, 215 to 179 to 183. I fluctuate from there right now.
All
So I
right.
still got to get on it. So technically, I would say I did not achieve my New Year's resolution goal,
So
which most
close.
people
So
did, but
close.
most people don't. Like so I'm in with the crowd.
Hmm.
But it took me all year to not do it. But I took substantial strides into making the goal, and I'm almost there. So my one of my New Year's resolutions goals is to uh, get that abs going next year. And I'm not trying to wait. So maybe I should make something. I haven't really wrote them down yet, my goals, but that's something I'm gonna do. Write them down so it becomes a word. But I need to be
Good
like,
idea.
I'm gonna get abs in 6 months instead of saying the whole year, because that just you want them to have to be quicker. So then you could get on it, like more immediate. But yeah, I want to get my abs. That's definitely a goal for 2024. That's probably my number one goal, to get
All
them
right.
abs, because then I'm gonna have to lose the rest of the fat, and that means I have to get and eat better, like so that's
Yeah.
one thing, my main goal.
Yeah,
And
even
then
though you didn't quite hit your goal, like you made like I feel like some incredible lifestyle changes, and
yeah,
you're inching towards it. You're so close to it. And that was like a process for you, whether you wanted to fuck around for like the first 3 months or whatever your thing was. Like took
yeah,
you a little bit to kind of go forward, go back, go forward, go back, and now you kind of got everything dialed in. So I feel like you're well on your way.
yeah. In
And don't I was
2022,
gonna
2022, I was doing really good from August until around daylight savings time. Then I fell
Mhm.
back, and like it was getting dark earlier. I started falling back in my old ways, and then I started smoking weed, eating bad again, started gaining the weight, lost my
Yeah.
muscle that I fucking got. So this year, like you can also make goals during the year. So like, yes, I want to get the abs for next year,
Hmm.
but maybe 3 months in, 4 months, 5 months in, there'll be other things. So maybe I'll achieve those abs in 2 months. Well, then just is that it? No, you got to continue to make goals throughout the year. You can't just, like you're saying, the Monday thing. You can't just make goals for one part of the year, because you're going to have a whole year. Things are going to change. Situations going to change. You might accomplish those goals, and um yeah, to make new goals. So like this year, I didn't have a goal of running 200 miles. Like I ran
Yeah,
200
nice.
miles. I just achieved that goal a few days ago. That wasn't a goal in New Year's.
Congrats, congrats.
But I ran a marathon. I wanted to do that for my friend that passed away. So I ran a marathon in March, and then I just was running, and then I eventually ran another 10K. I ran a half marathon. And then, but the goal, like on your birthday in February, we discovered hiking. We went hiking, and we did
Yeah,
one peak, and we met at Shanda, and she told us about the six pack peak. So then that became a goal in March or in February or March, something like that. I was like, you know what?
yeah.
I'm gonna do these six peaks. That sounds like a good goal. So that goal just came in the middle, the first part of the year. It wasn't a New
Kind
Year's
of
resolution.
spontaneous and random.
Yeah, so you just make goals along the way. And then that was my goal. But I was also running and training as well. So once we finally achieved that goal in October, I think it was late October, I was like, hey, I'm pretty close to 200 miles. I only got like 50 miles to go. So I was like, let's make that a goal. So then I had a few more months and I was like, let's make that a goal. So then I was like, okay. And I just accomplished it. And I said, hey, now I just accomplished my goal of 200 miles per for this whole entire year, which
Mhm.
wasn't a goal in the for New Year's of last year. So now that's another New Year's resolution for this year coming up in 2024. The number
365.
yeah, number one was to get that six pack, and number two is to run 365 miles. So that's my second goal. So, like, you could also, come up with goals along the way. Don't just make it seem like you just have to do one goal.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to add about like the goals or the resolution, like I feel like most people are kind of like, oh, if I'm gonna stop drinking. If a month in they have one drink, I was like, oh well, it fell apart, so now I could just go back to drinking. Like, no,
Mhm.
you can still have like one hiccup and then get back on. Like, all right, had a moment of weakness, but I still kind of want to make it my goal. If I only drink one time out of the year, that's still
Yeah.
something that I'll be proud of. So don't like let those little
Mhm.
bumps discourage you from falling off like your goals either. If you have a goal and you know it's going to take a while to kind of make it happen, you hit a bump, just get back on the horse and continue on. Just act like it never happened.
Yeah, exactly. And or you could be like, hey, make realistic goals. If you know you're a heavy drinker or you want to drink, let's say you're like, oh, well, my birthday's in September. I really want to drink that day. Well, just say like in the beginning of the year, I'm not going to drink this whole entire year, but if I drink 3 times, that's fine. Well, if you're going
Yeah.
to do that, don't make the first time you drink it until later on. Try to make it like, oh, let's go 6 months without it. So now you're not
Yeah.
like, you don't want to do New Year's and say, I'm going to drink just 3 times in the year. And then you drink the first 3 weeks. Now you got the whole rest of the year of like, to not drink ever again. So don't drink for a while. Try to get the first part, like start off strong, is what I'm trying to say. Start off
Yeah.
strong, like go hard in the beginning and get the workload done first. Like, oh, I'm going to drink 3 times this year. Well, do the workload first. Don't drink for the first 6 months, and then now you have 3 times in the next 6 months. So you could do it once every other month or something. Like that could be a
Yeah.
strategy, but make your goals a
But
little bit more
shit,
realistic.
who knows? Once you get to the 6 month mark, you probably might be like, shit, I don't even want to. I don't even feel need to drink those 3 times that I did out of the year.
Yeah, yeah, it could be adjustment. You
Made
could
it this
adjust the
far.
goals.
Yeah, exactly. I made it this far. Why even fucking start?
So do you have any like now we're talking like so that's two of my goals. Get a six pack, run 365 miles, and I'm going to be running a marathon on February 4th. So that's coming up in basically a little over a month. So I got to train for that as well. But that's 26.5 miles out of the 365. So, but it's just something, another goal. So that's the third
Knock
one.
that
I want
out
to
in
run a
one day.
marathon. I thought about if I come out of it nice and my knees are all messed up from it, I might try to run another one, LA marathon, which is just a month later. So that would be crazy to run two in like a month and a half pretty much. But I'm definitely doing the Huntington Beach one on February 4th. If you guys want to come out and run it with me, let's go. But that's another goal too.
Nice.
So those are three things. So do you have anything like that you're trying to do?
You know what I was thinking we should do? We should have a set number of subscribers that we should get. Like
Okay.
that, you want to get. Let's try
Yeah.
1,000 for the year.
1,000? Is that a good number?
I don't
That's a
know. Is
lot.
that too? I'm like, is that too low? Is that too high?
Oh, we should always shoot high. But yeah, we
Start with
should
a
do that for a
thousand. Who
thousand
knows if we
subscribers. Let's do it.
if we don't get there, let's just try, and we can always do better too. Shit,
Yeah. Okay, we're at 26 subscribers right now.
nice.
So we got about 974 more to go.
We'll break it up into like months. All we have to do is get X amount per month, and we'll be good.
So if you're listening to this and you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Help us hit our goal. We're already starting it. It's only a few days, but yeah, you could start before too. Like there's a few days. Christmas is already over, so you can start. Right now. You don't have to wait these last 30 days. This weird time period between Christmas and New Year's. Like, what is this time period? What is this dark hole? What do we do here?
We're in
Just start
limbo.
now. Even if you like saying like I'm not going to drink all next year, don't drink. Just drink on. But you want to drink on New Year's Eve? Well, just don't drink these few days, or like just start now and just maybe New Year's Eve, like you want to do something for the holiday, go ahead, whatever. But yeah, New Year's Day doesn't start till you wake up the next day too. So if you're drinking, that's what they always say. If you're drinking and it turns to 1 o'clock in the morning and it's already New Year's Day and you have another drink, you drank that year. But that one doesn't count because it's when you wake up.
I feel like I've done that before. Like,
Yeah,
no, it doesn't count. It's not until I like go to sleep and
it
reset the
doesn't.
consciousness,
Everyone knows that.
then it's official.
Yeah, everyone knows that. It's not until you wake up the next day. And then some people are like, "Well, I'm hungover. I need one more beer to get rid of the hangover." No, no, that doesn't count. Like after if you had one at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, you still drink one in 2024, but that doesn't count till you wake up. But yeah, so any other
Sorry.
like big goals? Are you gonna try to hike anything? Because there's also two hikes I want to do. The Six Pack Peak, we did some of the littler peaks, and I want to do all the six major peaks in Southern California. So there's San Bernardino Mountain and the biggest one, San Gorgonio Mountain. Those are the two I want to hike this year too. So I'm gonna hike those two as well. That's just part of just being fit in general. Might as well do those as well. But they're big hikes, and I want to get those done too. So that's throw that in there as well, because I want to do the hard things, like big things while I still can. So
Yeah,
one day when I
exactly.
know I can't, then I'm like, okay, now I'm old. I can't do it anymore.
Wish I could. I should have did it when I was young and I
Yeah.
had the opportunity. Shoot, maybe I'll do one of those hikes with you.
What about any travel plans? You have any travel goals that you want to go to this year?
Not really. No plans
Well, there's one
and
that you should have. Like, I don't know, I want to go to Zion Park,
oh, that's
and
right.
your nephew Mikey lives out
Yeah,
there,
Mikey
only
was
not too
talking
far
about
from
that.
it. So we should plan something like that because bring the family, bring out the
I think
kids.
we do actually have one. I think we agreed sometime in like spring.
Yeah.
Sometime my fiance has a timeshare out there, so we're gonna get a timeshare,
Where?
find it
Out where?
somewhere close to where Mikey is.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna see where the timeshares are actually at, and then try to get the closest one to Mikey. Because he's like, if you do one up north, he's like, it could be like a 3 hour drive just to get to the damn timeshare. So
No, okay.
we're gonna plan something like that and then just go camping.
Oh, okay.
We'll bring your ass along too. You might as well
I would love
join.
to do that. That sounds awesome.
Probably just me, you, Val, Mikey, and his lady, and the kids, and
I need to buy a tent. That's another thing. I need to buy a tent. And also a lot of people, these are health goals that we're all doing because we're health over everything. A lot of people have financial goals too, pay off debt, whatever, get a certain amount of money saved. Do you have any of those goals?
yeah. That at the beginning of the podcast, I said I am looking to get a new job. So with that, obviously, I'm looking for more pay, so that'll help out. And not that finances are part of the health, but it
Yeah,
could be part of your mental health if you're constantly not having enough money, constantly checking the bank
great point.
account, constantly bouncing checks. Like that could affect your mental health. So getting your
Stress.
financial, things in line could help you out mentally. And, as you probably know, the healthy food is a bit more expensive, so it'll help in that department as well.
Yeah, the grass-fed steak I bought yesterday was like $8.50 more per pound than the regular steak. So that just shows
Yeah.
you how much healthier it is.
Yeah.
Like $8.50 per pound more. It was like $24. And the other one was like like $15 or something like that. But it was around
Crazy.
$8.50. So that's crazy how much just for the grass-fed. So yeah,
Yeah.
stressing out about money definitely will fuck up your mental health. How many people out there are stressed out about money? Like lots of it. So there's financial goals. Mine is just to get ahead more, like as everyone else. It's not technically probably a New Year's resolution, but that's something I'm going to work towards. And also, health is wealth. So by being
Yes, it
healthy,
is.
by being healthier, it helped me get my finances a lot better. I'm more focused on it. If you go out drinking, because like every once in a while I'll still have a few beers, and I went out last night and it costs a pretty penny. So just by not drinking will not only make you super much like way more healthier, it will also save your bank account, which will lead to being less stressed. So there's multiple benefits in the stop drinking and getting your finances up.
Yeah, too. When I'd be all fucking drunk, I'd just be buying random people a shot. Hey,
Yeah.
go talk to a table with like two, three guys at it to start bullshitting with them. Hey, let's all do a shot. I'm already all drunk, so it's like, then you wake up the next day like, why the fuck I dropped like $60 on some random strangers? I don't even know these guys.
That's insane.
But when you're drunk, you're just in that kind of
Sounds
mode.
so
You're
much.
not
Yeah,
really,
it sounds like a great
not
idea.
thinking about it.
Or how much people go buy on Amazon. Like, I'm drunk right now. Let me go on Amazon and just buy a bunch of stuff. And now you're stressing out about bills because you owe all this debt.
Falling asleep with the phone in your hand.
Yeah, I seen a quote today, something about like saying like if you concentrate on things, you're trading your time for things. So it's like then you're gonna stress out because you have no time. But I don't know what that's near here or there. But so anyhow, let's take it back onto the goals for 2024, New Year's resolutions. like let's start thinking about other people. Like what do other people like out there listening, like they're gonna have a lot of goals, right? They're gonna be doing things. So like let's do for one, let's say energy drinks. So if you're gonna start losing weight, you might want to stop, like there's so many things you can do in order to lose weight. Like a lot of people are just living the standard American diet
Yeah.
and living the standard American lifestyle. So a lot of people drink energy drinks. You could just look at the sales online and how much sales they have. There's a lot of energy drinks being sold. So
Yeah.
like if you're trying to lose weight, one thing is just like maybe just like if your New Year's resolution is to lose weight, which is, I know a lot of people's resolutions is that.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes it's just, hey, let's just start taking off some things. So like you could set it up like, okay, in January, I'm gonna stop drinking energy drinks. In February, I'm gonna stop drinking sodas. And then now you're cutting all sugar because that's one of the biggest culprits to most underlying diseases and also weight gain. So you could line it out like that. Like get out a piece of paper, set it down, get your husband or wife or your boyfriend, girlfriend or friend or something, and start writing down your New Year's resolutions and like mapping them out. Okay, we're gonna lose weight. How are you gonna lose weight? Like, okay, January we're gonna stop energy drinks. February we're gonna stop doing sodas. Wednesday we're gonna or March we're gonna set up and go start to the gym. Like lay out some steps of how you're gonna accomplish this. And it's too hard sometimes to do it all at once, but just set up in
Yeah.
steps maybe per week, per month, and then also see where your results are. Okay, now we cut off energy drinks. I lost 5 pounds. Next month, you cut out sodas. You lost another 5 pounds. And now you can start seeing yourself feel better. And then by March, now I'm ready to go to the gym because I lost a little bit of weight. I'm more confident and also have more energy because I'm not all sluggish by having all this sugar in
Yeah.
my body. And now I can go to the gym. Now it starts compounding on each other. So kind of
Yeah.
like lay out a plan kind of like that would be a great like tip.
That seems like a good strategy too. I think most people, when they do try to do the New Year's resolution, they overstack their plate, and then
Hmm.
looking at all the shit you have to do, you get overwhelmed, and that could be a big deterrent. Like, man, that is so much work to do all of that. Like, I
Yeah.
don't even know where to begin. So if you could do it like you're saying, do it in like a progress, small little steps, like Monday or whatever. January, this is what I'm going to do. February, we're going to bring it up a notch and like slowly increase the heat on the dial. That
Yeah.
could be a good strategy to help stick to your plan. Hey, while you were talking about energy drinks, and I was at work the other day, somebody
Mhm.
at work was saying that I think it was Panera Bread came out with like a lemonade, but it was like an energy drink,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah. I've seen that. I heard about that one.
yeah, freaking out. I guess it wasn't labeled on it that it was an energy drink. So people are like drinking it, like, oh, this tastes good. I'm gonna get another one. And I
Hmm.
think like two, three people ended up dying from drinking too much of that shit. So
Yeah.
you could save
That's so much
you
caffeine.
might be saving your life from giving up some energy drinks because I know it's not good for your heart to have that long term.
Yeah, one of them was a underage kid. It was like 15-year-old girl or something like that died.
It's
So that's
crazy.
fucking crazy. Yeah.
Just from drinking some drink.
Yeah. And then, like so that's I think majority of Americans, their New Year's resolutions are probably financially incentivized and also obviously weight and health. And we're talking about health, and that's what most people are going to be. I know a lot. That's why the gyms are packed, and that's why everyone's like doing these like maybe they're like, I'm going to lose weight. So how are you going to do it? Like, obviously, in our other podcasts, we talk about nutrition and working out and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I kind of want to talk about like, yeah, that's like a lot of people are like might take some of these pharmaceuticals. I think it's Opinzi. I don't know how to say it, but there's a lot of drugs out there. I just seen on Twitter. I want to bring this up real quick.
Okay.
Pharmaceuticals are rising. There's like $10 billion worth of pharmaceutical just in fat loss. Fat loss
Man.
pharmaceuticals. It's like $10 billion per year, and it's suspected to get up to like $40 billion. So
Whew.
that's quadruple the amount. And what people are doing these pharmaceuticals. So a lot of people losing weight might do that. Like, oh, like they might hear about it online. Like, oh, there's this weight loss pill that could go get at the doctors. But you got to look out for that because they're going to give you side effects. You see all the pharmaceutical commercials that give you side effects, and also that they could take away your muscle. They could be eating away at your muscle and not your fat. So you might be losing weight, but
Yeah.
you might still have that flabby fat and not the muscle. So you got to look out for all that. But the best bet is just, like I said, try to make a plan and just make a healthy lifestyle. Really, like don't try to do the
Yeah.
pharmaceutical.
Someone died from that pill that you were talking about too. I remember seeing an
Oh, yep,
article,
I did see
and
that.
I think it was like something that you're supposed to get for diabetics, but it was like this a side effect of it was the weight loss. I think that
Yeah,
was the same one you were talking about, where it was coming more from the muscle mass
yeah,
than fat. So you're losing weight, but you're losing your healthy weight that you want to gain. kind of maintain as
Ozempic.
you get
It's called
older?
Ozempic. I just looked it up.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ozempic one.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna go that route, maybe short term, I'm not gonna like I've never been one to take pills. I'll take medicine if I absolutely have to, if I'm dying. But for the most part, I don't really take any kind of pills. So I personally wouldn't rely on a pill. And if you're gonna go that route, just don't expect it to make everything better. Like you're gonna probably lose the weight in the beginning, but ultimately at some point you're gonna have to make lifestyle changes, or you're gonna continue taking the pill every single day or every month, whatever the case is. So I think if you want to use it initially to kind of get the motivation to lose weight, you still eventually are going to have to make the lifestyle changes around it, eating healthy and exercising to get the long-term benefits in your life.
Yeah, and yeah, 2024 is coming up, and like what do a lot of people say for New Year's too? They're like, "This is gonna be my best year ever," right?
Yeah.
Well, how? You're gonna have to take action. Like, yes,
Yep.
you can write goals, and New Year's resolutions are amazing, but a lot of people don't, go through with them. Like, and you got to actually want it, and you have to actually do some action. You have to go out there and do the workouts. You have to go out there and lose the weight. And a lot of people like want to lose weight too, and it might be they might cut it down for a little bit, like, oh, I lost 10 pounds, but they don't see their belly going down, because when you lose weight, it goes all over your whole entire body. It doesn't just, you
Yeah.
can't target areas like your stomach. You can't just lose 10
Exactly.
pounds just from your stomach. It takes it off a little bit out of each part of your body. So it takes a little while for you to actually see your stomach to start to go down. So then they'll lose hope and just quit and then just start going back to their old lifestyle. But if you really want to have goals, you have to really want it, and they have to be like change your lifestyle. But especially when it comes to your health, because that's the hardest one.
Yep, exactly. And I think I was stuck in that boat for a while too, where I was reading books, I was like just kind of consuming information, but no action. So that's why I was getting no results. Even though I was like, man, I know all this stuff, but I wasn't implementing any of it into my life. So what's the point of knowing all this information and knowing how to lose weight and knowing how to work out if you're not actually going to do the work? So at some point, like you said, you got to take action on your goals and your dreams and whatever your New Year's resolution is going to be.
Yeah, if you're
You
gonna
can't
lose
just
weight,
expect it to magically happen.
yeah, if you're gonna like lose weight and you're like, let me go study it all, like figure out all this information, or if you're trying to get your finances better, you're gonna go look at get all this information. It's called analysis paralysis. You just have too much
Yeah,
analysis. You have too much information coming in, and you're getting it from too many different sources. So try to just go for one person. Just go for health over everything. Like just listen to us, or just go find an influence out there that you like and you relate to, and go listen to them. And like if you like Steven, go fucking ask Steven what to do, or ask me. Like, and then just go off that one person, so you're not getting so many conflicting different answers and stuff like that. But the main thing is
yeah,
just take it simple, make it simple. Don't have this analyst paralysis where you're getting so much information. Like I said, just like try to like make out a plan and cut off one thing at a time. It doesn't have to be everything. Like, yes, you might want to stop energy drinks first, but then you might want to stop processed foods. Like I'm like for new 2024, I'm not going to eat no fast food anymore. I'm not eating McDonald's for the whole year. It
nice.
might sound crazy to you. It might sound absolutely crazy to not eat McDonald's because you just eat it all the time. Like, how am I not going to get a McDonald's breakfast on the way to work? Well, if you want to make the changes to lose weight, you're going to have to do it, and cut out one thing at a time.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember you gave me a piece of advice where you were just basically saying, listen to one like influencer, like you were talking about, because there's so much information. And if you're listening to multiple guys, they might have conflicting information.
Yeah,
And then you're like, well, I thought I was supposed to do it like this. So I don't even know. I got to go back and listen to this guy. And it's just going to confuse you. So find one person and just stick to that for a certain amount of time. And if it doesn't work or you don't like it, then maybe make a switch, because we live in a time where I feel like there is so much information that no matter what you Google, you will find something to support your argument. So
yep,
people are going to say carbs are bad. People are going to say, the vegan diet's the best diet. They're going to say the carnivore diet's the best diet, but you're not going to know until you try. So try, which is the action part, and then see how
yeah,
it affects you, see if you like it, see if you can maintain it, and then you make adjustments as needed.
yep. And like another thing I like with that too is the America's kind of got this idea of like classes, and like every like put 35 kids in one class and you listen to the teacher. But if you look
Mhm.
at like history, like we're more susceptible to learn from like one person, like a mentor. Like even if you look back I don't know how the exact line goes right now, like the lineage goes, but I
Mhm.
know like Socrates, I'm just gonna make one up, like Socrates mentored or Aristotle mentored Socrates, and Socrates mentored Plato, and when Plato mentored Alexander the Great. And these are
Yeah.
four big, huge people that we still talk about to this day, but they all
Yeah.
got mentored by the next person. They're not like, oh, well, Socrates went into a classroom and of some other person and he just became successful. Like you want a
Yeah.
mentor. Like this is where mentors, the sensei is, more powerful than a bunch of classroom learning because you don't have that individual in like the individual focus onto one person. It's
Yeah.
like the teacher is focused on 30 people, 35 people, so it's not focused on you as much as like a sensei would be. So like we're kind of like
Exactly.
bred to learn from one person more than like being in a classroom like that. It's more easier. But there's tons of different influencers out there, and no matter what you want to do, it's tons of influencers in finance. There's tons of influencers in health and any other fucking thing you want to learn, photography, love, anything. So go, but that's why they're out there, so many different people, because a lot of people have this knowledge and they've done the work and they've been there. But some people have different attitudes. Maybe you don't like Andy Frisella because he cusses and he's mean, and you want a more gentle person. So you go to somewhere else,
Yeah.
like, or, like if you're, maybe you don't
I
like how
like
Grant
Andy.
Cardone teaches his money. Like you just think he's like too salesy or he's a little scammy. So you're going to go to maybe Rich Dad Poor Dad guy or something, like
Mhm.
find the guy that you like and then indulge in every single thing that they have. Once you find out the personality that you like, just make sure they've done it before and then just dive into everything. Maybe even spend some money, like give them some money. Like they're teaching you in their knowledge. And if you pay enough to some of these people, they'll do even private one meetups with you, especially
Mhm.
maybe not the bigger guys like Rich Dad Poor Dad or something, but there's a lot of people on Twitter and stuff that are coaches. You could put fitness coach on there, and there's a bunch of them that come up, and or you could pay me. I don't know. I'll take it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
try to
another
find
good
somebody you
one.
relate to, and then just indulge into everything that they say. Because like say like you like them. I like how they look. I like how they act. I like their lifestyle. I like what they're teaching, and just go by them only. Because then you start listening to someone else, and I just like, or you even tell your friends and stuff. They'll be like, "Well, that guy's bullshit. Like, you're not supposed to be eating what he says. You got to eat this." And then if
Mhm.
you don't like it, you could always switch. Like, okay, now I really don't like that guy. I'm going to switch to someone else. And you could, but try to just learn from one person, just like Socrates and Plato and Aristotle and all of them did.
Yeah. That could be a good strategy too, is to actually pay for some coaching, because now that your money's invested, I feel like you don't want to feel like you're throwing your money down the drain. If you have the money,
Yep.
because some of these guys could probably be pretty damn expensive, but maybe find somebody that's in your price range, do your research on them, and I think
Yeah.
having that actually pay some money will help you kind of stick with it. Like, I just gave this fool $150. Like, I'm showing up. I ain't gonna let him
Yeah.
work. I'm paying him for nothing, essentially.
Yeah. People take free for advantage. If you're giving something for somebody for
Definitely.
free, it's something with your mind. Like if I'm trying to lose weight, if you're
Like, it's
out there,
not
you're listening, I'm
valuable.
trying to lose weight, and this guy just going to give it this for free. It must not be worth anything. It must be just common knowledge. I could get it anywhere. So when you pay these guys, it tells your mind, your own mind, like, hey, this must be valuable. And also, you don't want to tell your friends because we're very a creature that gets justified by peer pressure, and
Mhm.
we don't look dumb in front of our friends. So, oh, do you pay that guy $250? Where's the results? So he didn't do anything to you? You're an idiot. You made a horrible decision. You are stupid. And so
Yeah.
like that's another reason why people are like, okay, I paid the money. I'm gonna get it done because I don't
Yeah,
want to look like an
exactly.
idiot, imbecile, retard, or anything like that.
Yeah, that's funny.
That
I
word.
saw a guy, he was talking to, I think his courses currently, I think he was saying they're 5,000, and he
Yeah.
was planning on moving it up to 10,000. And it was funny because he's like, at one point, he's like, I was giving this information out for free, but nobody wanted to take it because it was free. So he's like, now there's a $5,000 price tag on it, and pretty soon there's going to be a $10,000 price tag on
Yep.
it. He's like, you could have gotten this information for free back in the day, but nobody
Yeah.
wanted it. It's kind of funny how that works.
Yeah. It's psychological. We're psychological beings. Everything works psychologically. And like that's how we make a lot of our decisions. And a lot of people don't, you might think like I'm totally in charge of all my psychological decisions. Well, it's
Hmm.
not totally that way.
Yeah.
Might go with a free will argument and like thing, but
Hmm.
some things are like that, some things are not. Some things are paid for will, some things are free will, but a lot of things are like psychologically, like you don't even notice it because you don't know how your psyche works. But some of it's like, hey, you don't want to look like dumb to your peers. That's a big motivation for a lot of people. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
anything
funny.
about New Year's resolutions, Do you have any New Year's resolutions with your relationship? Because that could be a lot of people are maybe looking for love for New Year's for this new 2024 year. I want to find a girlfriend. I want to fall in love. I'm gonna ask my wife to marry her. Do you have like maybe you just in like you're trying to improve like that? Maybe you haven't thought about that, and maybe you should improve your relationship with your fiance. Is that a goal of
Yeah.
yours? Because it could be going great, but we all know everything could get better.
Yeah, that's
Get
true.
better.
That is something that I've had in my mind. And I don't know if I want to necessarily make it into like a New Year's resolution, but I do want to spend more like quality time with the family instead of, it's very easy to get on your phone, start editing a video or start freaking scrolling through social media and get caught up in that. So that is, I'm not going to make a New Year's resolution goal out of it, but that is something that I'm going to work on is less time on my phone,
Yeah.
do all my stuff like because I was editing the videos, trying to like do my workout videos, post it and like post it right away. But now I'm like, I'm gonna quit all that. I'll film it during the day and then I'll do all the editing at night when my son's asleep. Valerie, she'll be doing her own little thing and it be like my own little time to myself at the end of the night, or either that, wake up early and do it. Just so, more quality time with the family. That is a goal of mine.
Yes. And I'm single, so I have a little like everyone has it, I think, in their head relationship goals. And like for the opposite sex, I would say like, yeah, I would like to get out there more. Like I went on a date recently, like, it kind of like I'm so focused on myself and what I'm doing and trying to create these businesses or trying to get the podcast better, trying to like put out content to make,
Mhm.
I have some other things I'm working
Time
on.
consuming.
Yeah, it's very time consuming. So then like you kind of like get lost in that and but then you're like realize like, oh man, what am I doing? Like I also got a life to live and should I be
Mhm.
dating or like this? So, and it's also it feels good. So I know a lot of people out there are probably trying to get relationships. So that could be a 2024 resolution for me. I haven't wrote it down yet. Like I said, I haven't wrote down my goals yet. I'm probably going to do it today or tomorrow. But that could be one. I might think about that a little bit of like what I actually need to do. But then also too, like, networking too, like other relationships of like networking with just business people, other
Mhm.
people that are like-minded, like other people that are in health. Like I think another goal for me or probably for us should be trying to get more people on the podcast, like are more
Definitely.
influential, more like up there, not just a regular
Give me
person.
Andy
Like
Frisella on here.
yeah, like get somebody that's actually like really good, like maybe like try to make the podcast a little bit better. Eventually get it. Eventually we want to get like maybe like a studio so people can actually come in. But
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Andy Frisella lives in St. Louis, so it'd be kind of hard to get him over there. But yeah, you're in LA, come through here,
We
like
just need
real
to get
quick.
enough sponsors so we could be like, all right, the sponsor's gonna pay to fly you out over here. You do the podcast and then do
Yeah,
whatever you want after. Go back home.
exactly. Like what's in
I
it for me?
wonder.
'Cause, there's always something like what's in it for them.
I was all thinking Joe Rogan probably flies his people in. Do you think he flies them back out?
Yeah, you're here, like you gotta find your own way
After you
back.
hear that this is that you got to pay for your ass to get home.
And I was like, no, you're buying me around one way round trip. Like,
Yeah, I think if
no,
you're
a
Joe
round trip.
Rogan, you're big enough. He has enough money. He probably sends them,
Yeah, he definitely does.
brings them, sends them back.
I don't know how that works, but yeah, like that's just networking, maybe going on some more dates and stuff, just getting out there a little bit more could be a New Year's resolution with the love because there's different things. There's health, there's wealth, and there's love. So three different New Year's resolutions that most people do. And
Yeah.
if you guys if you're listening to the YouTube, put in your comments what your New Year's resolutions are, or if you're listening on Spotify, I think you could put it on there. It's just a question and answer, like how was the episode? Put in there what your New Year's resolution is. It would be interesting to see what you guys' New Year's resolutions are.
Yeah, I think too having a goal to get into a relationship could be good because I think that's good for your mental health too. If you get too lonely, I think that could start to affect your mental health.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of on a side note from that, for me, it seems like every time, like relationship wise, every time I got to the point where like I got sick and tired of looking and I kind of gave up, I was like, those are the times that like somebody would come into my life and like, oh, who is this? And then you start talking to them and then you kind of hit things off. And like even with my fiance, I wasn't expecting to get into a relationship. It just kind of happened. And from the
Yeah.
moment I kind of I knew she was single, so I kept telling her friend like, "Hey, what's up with Valerie? Hook it up with her." And she's like, "Hook yourself up." So eventually, we did end up meeting up, And I was like, ever since then, it's like that's all she wrote. Ever since we started
Oh,
hanging
she
out,
wrote,
like,
baby.
yeah, there's been very few occasions where like we didn't see each other. It's like from the moment we started kind of dating, it was like I was either at her house, she was at my house, and the only time we've kind of been apart is when she has to take like trips for work out of state, and
Yeah,
that's work, so it's gonna happen inevitably. But
that's
it's kind
crazy.
of like, I don't know, it was very easy to as it happened, it felt natural. So I think that's kind of what you're looking for too. You don't want to force yourself to fall in love or force the
Yes.
relationship, because you know, I don't know if we want to, if it's from like desperation, you want to make it work. I need to make this work with this person, and where you can't see all the red flags right in front of your face, like she does this, I don't like that, she does this, I don't like that, and try to make it work and try to change that person into the molding that you're looking for. It's just
Yeah.
better to go out and just find someone that you connect with. And I kind of think when you do come across that person, it's like you just know, it's one of those things, you just know, like, this is my person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true too. Because if you try to force it in, that's definitely gonna. We're all about health over everything, and that's gonna definitely mess with your mentals because you're trying so hard to get this person to be something that they're not, and you're trying to force
Trying to
something that
change
works.
yourself.
You know,
Mhm.
like that not gonna work. And so it's yeah, coming naturally does help a lot. So if you are trying to like make a New Year's resolution to find somebody this year, just I would say just kind of just go put yourself out there. Maybe go on dating websites and just talk to people. Like just go talk to random women or men, like say hi to them and see how like their vibes are and see if you connect, or like just ask them some questions, or go out places and don't be afraid and to like just go talk to people and just start building that rapport up, a little bit. It might not happen the first day, but you might talk to somebody one day. Maybe you go to a getting your protein drinks from somewhere, and then you go talk to this girl, a cute girl or guy there, and then you just say hi to him. Hey, what's up? Like, how's your day? What time are you getting off? And then you're not trying to force it. And then the next
Yeah.
time you do it again, and maybe you talk a little bit more, and they start to get to know you. And then now they're like, after so many times, so many interactions, it kind of feels like, oh, they're kind of like a friend. I kind of know them. And then maybe if you could kind of feel them, and if you could tell that they're feeling you and you're feeling them, then it could work that way. So it's like, you can't really rush things because then it's just
Yeah.
gonna ruin you if they say no. And it's like, oh man, well, you didn't put in the pre-work, like to getting like, you don't just go from marriage to high to marriage the first day. You got to put in the work
Yeah.
so
I
to
love
build that
you in the first
relationship.
the first week. That could
Yeah.
backfire. Most
It's like,
cases it
yeah,
does.
exactly. Then it like fucks with your mental health, and then there you go. Now you're eating bad.
Yeah.
You're eating some
I'm
ice cream.
unlovable. Nobody loves
I'm
me.
eating a whole thing of ice cream now. Oh man, I'm so depressed.
Just remember, everyone, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you're
Exactly.
feeling it, get your fear out of the, push that fear to the side and just do the damn thing. What's the worst that's gonna happen? They're gonna
Yeah.
say no.
You could be batting as like on a pitcher, like on a baseball field. You could have the bat. Somebody could throw 100 balls and you hit one out of 100.
That's all
But
you
the guy
need.
that never stepped to that plate, he hit none. He's in his room. Mental health is messed up because he never even tried.
He's in his room listening to this podcast, trying to get out of his funk.
And he's learning and he's going to get it. It's going to change
Yeah.
everything. So you're also getting married this year. Is that true? Is 2024 the year? Or are we going to have to wait another year?
Uh, well, we were kind of having plans and they kind of fell through a little bit on like we were gonna have it at a family member's house, but then something happened with that. So it's up in the air right now.
It was supposed to be in spring, right?
Yeah. It's funny, we're just
So that's
talking
not a New Year's resolution. Tell Valerie, make it your New Year's resolution to get this shit done this year. We gotta get it done. Aaron wants it done.
I told him like, hey, we could just go to Vegas and have a low key one. It doesn't have to be all big and extravagant,
Yeah,
just
that's how
have
my
a
mom and dad got married.
few of the tight friends. That's when my cousin got married, to just like a little courthouse. It was
What
me,
what
his
did she
family, his brother,
we're
and that was
all
it.
wondering, what did she say about that?
Well, honestly, we talked about it yesterday a little bit. She's like, you know what? Like, I'm not really in a rush. I know she's been really stressed out with work. She just came back from a business meeting. She was gone for like 3 days. So I think she's still kind of overwhelmed with that. Maybe the jet lag a little bit too. But we did talk about it yesterday a little bit. She's like,
Okay.
like I'm like not in a rush. Like I already have a lot on my plate. Don't want to rush the wedding and add even more shit to my plate. So she's like, I'm not really in a rush to do it this year.
Okay.
I think it's just something, we're going to keep in mind. And I don't know. Is it one of those? I've never been married, so is it one of those things that you got to make happen, or is it just like, oh, now is the right time, and
Yeah.
this, it seems
Well,
right, so let's do this
yeah.
now. And it still requires like, a ton of planning. So
Yeah. So I
we'll see
guess
how it goes.
it's up in the
But
air. No New Year's resolution. Because a lot of people's New Year's resolution might be like, I'm gonna get married this year, even if like they've been dating for a while.
mhm.
But yours is up in the air still, so we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, we're both happy. We're
We
living
don't know if
together,
it's gonna be a big wedding or a small wedding yet.
Yeah, honestly, too, I think we're both happy with the relationship and how it is now. It's pretty much like we're married. We live together, we have a house together, we have kid together, everything's good.
Yeah.
Um, we have our moments where we argue and she slaps me. No, I'm just joking.
I'm like, oh, we're getting deep in this one. Domestic dispute.
Can you imagine Valerie hitting
Dispute.
me?
Well, she has no. I would think that she would have no worry because you're not gonna hit her back.
It's true.
You're just gonna take it. But so
No,
yeah,
I
New Year's
would.
resolutions. I don't know what else can we talk about New Year's resolutions out there. People are gonna get it done. Like, just get it done, motherfuckers. That's what I say. Be blunt.
Is there anything like any kind of plan of action that you have kind of set in place to where if like you're falling off or you feel like you're not going to reach it or you're going too slow? Do you have anything kind of like put in place for you to where like, all right, six pack is going slower than I thought? Honestly, I think you're going to get it no matter what, but
Yeah,
just just for the talking sake, is there anything
man.
that you kind of have set in place to kind of keep you in track or keep you
I think
inching towards the goal?
I have some worries a little bit, like everyone probably does about their New Year's resolutions. Like, but you
Mm,
should really confront those worries, I think, as a plan of action. You, sorry.
right.
But yeah, excuse me, listeners. But yeah, you should have some sort of plan of action for your worries, I think, because like I have worries. Like, I'm gonna run a marathon and I worry about when I'm training, is my knees gonna give out and am I not gonna run the marathon?
Mm,
Well, I think about it like, okay, well, if I do that, I'll walk it, even if I have to hobble for 20
all
miles,
right.
which I don't want to do. So I've been
Yeah.
strengthening my quads and my trying to do workouts now. Right now, I'm on a rest period until the new year, and then I'm gonna start running again. But yeah, my knees, I worry about them giving out. So like, and then my weight loss, like to get my six pack, I just worry about just falling off of the food because I just like once you get off, and it's hard to get back on.
Yeah.
But I really got to stop eating
Funny how that happens.
like some. I still get cheat meals, too many cheat meals, so I need to stop, just get really on it like you, and I probably need to start counting calories again. Even though I hear a lot of people say don't count calories because you should just eat the right things. But yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of want to dial in my diet, so I kind of worry about getting off on that, and so I got to make a plan of action of like, okay, if I do fall off, like maybe just once a month. Like, don't do it once every week or twice a week like I've been.
Yeah.
Like I've been eating Wingstop like once a week. I can't do that this year, 2024. I got to do it once a month, but I'm trying not to just don't do it at all. But if I do it,
Yeah.
like, so I got to really stay on that. So I got to meal prep and all that stuff and get on that. Hiking, I think I'll get the hikings done. There's only two of those, two mountains. I don't really see an issue with that. But other than that, it's just like my worries about like how not getting them done. And there was that with the six pack, the two peaks I want to do. I want to get to the 365 miles, which that I worry about the knees.
Yeah.
And maybe eventually if I something does happen with my knees, I should have a backup plan. Like I say, you can adjust in the middle of the year. Like let's say something happens drastically with my knee, then I'll just pick up swimming, motherfucker. Like fucking David Goggins
Yeah.
says.
Gagging.
Maybe I'll just start doing swimming because I got a pool in my gym. I got a pool across the street. Maybe I'll
Nice.
just adjust and be like, okay, now I'm gonna do 100 miles of laps, like something like that. So I could always adjust, but it's still something healthy, so it's still something good for me. But right now I'm sticking with the running because that's what I like the most. I like running kind of. I think it's the best cardio for me. But maybe you could
Nice.
switch it up. So always be open to switch it up. So like, okay, if you're gonna stop eating fast food, like that's gonna be your thing, and you eat fast food, well, maybe you just start eating. Okay, I'm gonna eat fast food still. Like, well, maybe you just stop eating just eat the hamburger, don't eat the fries and the Coke, switch it up and then just do that and make that stick on that. That's still not the best way to do it, but it's a lot healthier than eating all three of them. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like try to make some adjustment plans too. Don't just give up totally like, oh, I ate some fast food, I'm just going to keep eating it from now on. Like you were saying earlier, maybe just like, okay, well, I ate it. Well, I'm still going to eat it, but I'm just going to get rid of a few things. I'm not going to eat the milkshake ever. I'm not going to eat the soda. So it's kind of like get rid of some things, make an adjustment, but
Yeah.
mainly you want to achieve the goal perfectly and go above. Like I want to not only get the six pack, not only want to do 365 and two peaks, I want to hike a lot more. I like hiking, it's beautiful. So maybe I'll do, like I'll accomplish all my goals and get them done as quick as I can. So then I could set more goals, which I don't know of, so you should maybe even have a 6 month. So once, what is it? January, February, March, April, May, June. So July, let's say after June is over, that's 6 months. Have a July New Year's, half a New Year's halfway through, like come up with something like that, or quarter, maybe each season. Okay, once winter's over, we're gonna have a spring goals, like, so there's some things you can do that. When the summer comes, we're gonna have summer goals. And just remember, if you're trying to get weight loss by summer, it starts in the winter. You can't just do it like 2 weeks before. So always plan ahead too with
Takes
your
time.
goals and your New Year's resolutions as well.
Yeah, this might be a little bit off topic, but it's funny. You said something yesterday. I think it was building building a good habit is a lot harder than like making a bad one. How did you word
No,
that?
okay, so you're hanging out with somebody that smokes weed still, and you don't
Yeah,
smoke weed.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
and you're saying, man, I'm kind of having an urge, which you didn't do it. I'm proud of you. I'm having an urge
Thank you,
to
thank you.
smoke weed
Yeah.
because I'm around this guy that smokes weed.
Hmm.
Well, I was saying, it should be the opposite way around. You should be trying to convince him to be a healthy lifestyle, not him trying to, like, not him influencing you. But you never know. Maybe once he's around you too, he's like, oh man, I kind of want, like, Steven's doing really good. He might have had the same thought, but the opposite. Like, I want to get healthy. But you should
Yeah.
be trying to not going in the situation like, I kind of want to smoke weed because I'm around him and he smokes weed. You should be like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I'm with this guy that smokes weed. I need to try to get him to live the healthy lifestyle. And it's funny because
Oh,
I was like, it's a lot easier to be influenced by the bad things than it is for a bad habit person to get influenced by the good things. Because it's a
yeah.
lot easier just to be like, oh, I want to smoke weed and just hit it, than
Yeah.
him going like, oh, I'm hanging out with him. I'm gonna start going to the gym and do it every day. That you got to do every
Yeah.
day. Once
Be
you
a lot
hit the
harder.
weed or drink the beer, then you've done it.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to, he didn't offer it or anything, but I
So
think
just
just because like he's one of the last people that I smoked with too. I was
yeah,
like, and it was funny too because I think I was like I didn't smoke for like 2 or 3 months at that point, and then we went out together, and I'm like, I haven't seen this fool for a while. I'm gonna smoke, and then I kind of got back into the habit. So
yep,
even yesterday, like I was like, should I do it? Like, man, I really want to do it. And then there's like a piece of me, like I was imagining myself going outside and taking a hit. I was like, I already know I would feel instant regret as soon as I took that damn hit, especially because I'm close to like the 6 month mark of
yeah.
not smoking. But to what you said was like kind of resonating in my brain, like it is so much easier to just like to start a bad habit, huh? I'm like, it took me, look how long it took me to kind of develop this healthy lifestyle, and I
Hmm.
could potentially ruin it all just by one action of just taking a hit out of this pen. So that was in the back of my mind too. But yeah, I felt like that was really good advice. I like that.
Yeah, and I don't think that,
Very true too.
and you might think that's off topic a little bit, but I think that actually resonates with the resolutions, because that kind of, a lot of people are making these New Year's resolutions. Most people fail in the first week or
Mhm.
month. So think of it like that. Think of it as like, hey, that's a bad habit, and just one time could throw you off. Like, if you're saying, I'm not eating fast food for this rest of this year, this whole year, 2024, 365 days, I am not going to eat fast food. You eat it one time in January 18th, February 5th, some random date. That could throw
Mhm.
you off for the rest of the year. So be terrified of even trying it again. If you say, I'm not going to drink energy drinks, I'm not going to drink energy drinks for the rest of this year, 2024. Be terrified of drinking one. Like, every time you look at it in the AMPM, don't even go into the AMPM or the liquor store and look at that. Don't even go down the aisle in the grocery store. Be like, that's like a scary movie where there's somebody with a chainsaw right there. They're going to kill me. That's how scary it is. I'm not going down the aisle, because if I get one energy drink, I'm going to be on those energy drinks again. I know it because they're addictive. It's so much easier to get influenced by these bad habits. So just stay away from it as much as possible. Don't even look at it. Don't think about it, because once you hit that first one, it could throw you off for the whole year. So that's a good point.
Yeah, I think me and you are very like that too. I think you had your little run in with your energy drinks. You're like, you
Oh
went for
yeah.
a period without drinking them, and then you had one, and then you're like every day after that for like a week I was drinking. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how did this happen? I was good with not drinking them, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
now I'm drinking them every day. Like, and it's funny how that happens. It just kind of creeps up on you because that shit's happened to me too. It's like, and
And it
then I
does it
would
every
do the
time.
thing. I did the thing with the wheat carts. I'd buy one throughout the week, or all right, we'll backtrack a little bit. So I went like a few months without smoking, and then smoked it one time with my nephew, and then the next day I went to the store and bought my own. I was smoking it then, and then I'm like, what am I
Fuck.
doing? And then I'm like, all right,
Uh,
this Sunday I'm gonna stop. So like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'd be smoking it like crazy, trying to like waste it all. Like I'm not gonna leave anything in there. I'm gonna smoke it all by Sunday. So I would do that, and then Monday would come around, and it'd be like at nighttime when I typically smoke. Like, man, I want to smoke. I'm gonna go buy and fuck another one, and then I would just be in this vicious loop of keep telling myself that all right, Sunday's the last day, and then Monday I'm
yeah.
buying it, and then week after week that kind of habit fucking little pattern stuck, and it was hard to get out of it. So it is a lot easier to do the bad habits because they're
Yep.
so simple.
And like
They're
we've
easier
tried
to
this many
do.
times.
There's no effort.
Yeah, exactly. And we tried this many times. That's the thing about us. Like we've done it, tried to stop smoking weed or try to stop with the energy drinks or try to eat fast food, stop eating fast food. And then we do it for a while and then we eat it one time and we're back on it. So now we know by the fifth or sixth or seventh or 10th time, now we know like, okay, now I know if I do it
Yeah.
again, I'm going to be back on it. That damn foreman, it was a hot summer day and he's like, hey, I want to, you guys, I got some energy drinks for you guys and just gave them to us. And I'm like, I'll just have one. I was like, it's hot, it's 100 and some degrees. And then next thing you know, I'm doing them again for a few weeks after not doing them for months. Same thing with the soda. I like
Oh,
you got to know your triggers, and by doing it and failing and doing it and failing and doing it and
yeah.
failing, you learn your triggers. Like I go to Five Guys, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Five Guys for a cheat meal, but I'm not drinking no sodas. I'm still not gonna drink a soda. Well, I go there and I'm like, well, every time I have Five Guys, I always get the orange soda. So I went and got it. And then the next thing you know, I'm drinking a soda the next day, like a
Yeah.
Coke. Like, why am I drinking a Coke? Like, it was supposed to be just one thing. So, like, when people are making these New Year's resolutions, most of them are trying this stuff for the first time and they don't know that they have these triggers or these habits. So they fail and they're just like, oh, I failed and get back to it. But then, like,
Yeah.
you got to realize, okay, keep it up. Like, okay, you failed on January 18th and you do it for another, like, you drink that one soda after you didn't drink sodas for 2 or 3 weeks. You drink that one soda, now you're back into it. Well, get back on it. Like, okay, 2 weeks later, be like, wait, what am I doing? Be terrified of it and then get back off of it. Don't just be like, I'm going to keep doing it for the next year. The new year is still doing it. Like even if you failed like in February and March, and then you got back on it and you didn't do it for the rest of the year, I consider that a win. Like yes, you did
Yeah.
fail a couple times,
100%.
but you got back on it. So don't just think you lost, because you've done it a couple times. And at the end of the year, if you started your New Year's resolution and you failed and got back on it, and then you got off, and then you went the whole rest of the year doing great. Now the next New Year's resolution going to 2025, you could be like, hey, I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, like how you're doing it, Steven, like with your health and stuff. I'm going to
Yeah.
keep doing what I'm doing. I'm keep not drinking, keep eating my macros really well. But now I'm just going to keep doing that for the rest of the year. So now it'll be a lot easier for the next year instead of just being like, oh, I messed up in March, or the first week of January. So I'm just going to just continue drinking the energy drinks or eating the fast food.
Yeah. I feel like picking up a like momentum is like a real thing too.
Yeah.
And even like it's funny because the mind is very tricky. Even yesterday, I was like, oh no, it's Saturday. Yeah, yesterday I was like, I could just smoke one night and then be done with it. But then I feel like that is my mind playing a trick on me because I know deep down
Yeah.
it's like I know there is such a high probability that I'll be back if I let that happen. So that was
Yeah.
another kind of deterrent for me. Oh, but
Yeah. And
yeah,
like
it's
me,
those mind
go ahead.
games are fucking tricky.
Yeah, like me too. Like, okay, I say like, oh, I'll drink here and there. So like I'll go out with my roommate to a football game and I'll drink one beer. I'll be fine
Mhm.
because that's just my roommate. She don't really drink that much with me. But then I went on a date with some girl and I drank 3 beers. So now I'm thinking like, I'm not gonna drink again. But maybe if I hang out with her again, I haven't hung out with her in a second date yet. If I hang out with
Mhm.
her again, maybe I'll be like, oh well, last time I drank with her, it was fun. Let me do it again. So I'm like worried about it now. Like, oh man, am I gonna get in the habit? So next time I know, like, hang out with her, I cannot drink. Like, we're not like maybe I do something different. Like, let's
Go
go
on
to
a
a different
hike.
environment where we're not going to drink. Like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
do a movie night or let's go out just to dinner. And then because we went to a concert and that's where like I was trying to have fun at. And
Mhm.
because I don't want to get back into the drinking, but I don't really think I like drinking. I don't really get back into like as much as like the sodas and stuff or the weed
Yeah.
because the hangover, I had a little hangover this morning. I'm like, man, I forgot how horrible this is. But maybe if I hang out with her again, it was fun. I'm like, oh, let's do it again. Let's, like, so we could get all frisky or something. But so it's like, you got to
Yeah.
worry about that. Like, and I don't, try to drink. I don't even want to drink, but I just did it for the first date. I don't know why, but we did it, and but you can't get
Help
back
break
on
the
it. So
ice,
like, okay,
take the
doesn't
edge
mean I
off.
have to keep doing it next time I go out with her. I could get back on it. Like, hey, we're hanging out sober. I don't drink. I just drink that one day, and that's it. And like in this 2024, I drink 5 times this whole entire year. It's 365 days. I drink 5 times. Next year, maybe I'll drink once or none. I hopefully none because I don't want to drink this year anymore when I turn 40. When I drink
Hmm.
one time now since I turned 40. But yeah, so just get back on it, and you fell once doesn't mean you failed forever. Keep it up and like get back on the don't just fall back into your old habits.
Yeah, exactly. What I was trying to, I think I didn't finish the thought about picking up
Oh,
momentum. Like I feel like that is a real
no,
thing for me because as long as I keep the momentum going, like I'm good. But if something in my like routine or something breaks, I feel like it has the potential to kind of let everything start unraveling and I start to lose the speed on, my momentum.
mm-hmm.
So that is like another thing that I don't know, maybe other people could use if you've made it 1 week without drinking or getting an energy drink or whatever, your goal is that you're trying to cut out. Um, Even if you made it a week, like, man, I did this whole week, like I can't start now because that whole week will be for nothing. And then eventually you get to 2, 3, 4, 6 months and you'll have momentum at that point. At that point, the fact or it could almost be like a deterrent, like I'm not going to do it now because I put in 6 months of work and I don't want it all to be for nothing. So that could be like a little mind game that you play with yourself to kind of help keep you accountable and help keep you on your path. And if you
Yeah,
do slip up, don't beat yourself over it. Just get back
yeah,
on the horse and kind of what you're talking about you're doing. I feel like you've gotten that down pretty good. Like if you do have a drink, you're not like, oh, kicking yourself in the ass, you're a fucking failure, you're a piece of shit. Like, look at you,
yeah,
you can't do anything. It's like you're like, oh, no, it was just one time, not a big deal. Like I'm gonna get back on the horse and continue what I
yeah.
was doing.
And I kind of visualize while you're saying that, like a car, like everyone has all this positive energy and like this a lot of motivation, which motivation wears off. You need discipline to do
Yes, it
anything,
does.
but motivation wears off. And but New Year's gives a lot of people motivation to do something. So
Hmm.
I'm visualizing like a car picking up speed on a flat land. Like you're just picking up speed. That's the motivation we're feeling going into 2024. You're just on a
Hmm.
flat piece of land on a car going 100 miles per hour with that positive motivation. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get healthy. I'm finally going to get this done. And then when you're going, then the new year hits and then you start hitting a hill, a big ass hill. And you with that momentum of going 100 miles per hour, you let go of the gas and you're going to go up that hill and that's the new year. Like those are all the resistance,
Hmm.
the withdrawal symptoms and stuff like that. That's that hill that you're going to hit. And if you let go of the gas, you're going to eventually that hill is going to slow you down. It's going to slow you down. And then you're going to go backwards right to where you were. But if you keep
Like
on the
that.
gas, you go over the hill and then you go over that hill, that momentum that you're talking about. And then once you get to the top of the hill, then you start going down. Now you got the momentum. You're in 6 months in, you're feeling good. You don't want to ruin it again. And you start going downhill. It becomes a lot easier. And that's what I kind of visualize what's like a New Year's resolution. You're going fast with the motivation, you're positive, but if you let off the gas, you're going to hit that hill and you're going to go slow and you're going to go backwards. But if you don't and you keep it up and you keep that gas pedal down to the floor, you're going to get over that hill and then you get comfortable and you get a new lifestyle and you feel, and it's your new identity, your new lifestyle, and you get over that hump and you go down the hill and now it's smooth sailing to your new lifestyle and your health and all your goals.
Yeah, I like that visualization. It's almost like the gas pedal is the effort. It
Yes.
requires some effort for you to get up that hill, but in the end, if you want to get to the destination, you got to put in at least a little bit of work. It's going to require effort on your part. So
Yes.
yeah,
Perfect.
I like that visualization.
Yeah, and I like that too. The
Interesting.
pedal is the effort. The pedal is the effort. That's awesome. So yeah, I think that's we've been in an hour. I think that's good. Unless there's anything else you want to throw in there about New Year's resolutions, goals, any tips or helps, or we'll just end it there.
I think I say this a lot, but I feel like it still remains true is that, when you're kind of taking on this endeavor of starting your New Year's resolution, like just plan on it being a little difficult and don't expect it to be easy. I think that's in our day and age, everything is like instant gratification, click a button and I have all this shit delivered to me. It's like we gotten used to this easy lifestyle, but just expect it to be challenging. Expect you to kind of go through some struggle to get to the goal because that's why it's valuable, because it requires effort to be, to get in a good state of mind, body, and health. And if it was easy, everybody would be healthy. No one would be overweight. We'd be all living on rainbows and sunshine. But that is just not the way it is. It takes effort, and you're going to have your down days, and you just got to learn how to be disciplined and power through them.
Yes, that's amazing advice there, and it definitely rings true. And we're going to be ringing in the new year too, so we want to
Yeah,
say
it's crazy.
Happy New Year, everybody. This year went,
2024.
we
Yeah.
know
Happy New Year.
the years go by fast. It's going to be 2024. It just seems like
It's
2020
weird.
happened with all the chaos. Like what happened to 2020? It's 2024 now.
Yeah.
That's insane. But yeah, I hope you guys all have everything you wish for. I hope you do get the health in 2024. Hope you get the love you want. Hope you get the financial goals. Hope nothing bad happens. Hope none of you die. That's a big one. Like, don't die. That's like,
Yeah.
be careful, be safe, and take care of yourself and take care of your family and your loved ones, because it's a risky and dangerous world out there, and we're all
Yeah.
living in it. But let's make this year, let's ring it true and make this year the best one ever. Let's make 2024. If you already started in 2023, like me and Steven has, like, let's keep building that momentum and getting even better. There's always room for growth. You could always get better. No matter how good you are, you can get better. And also, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe, because we can't get 1,000 subscribers without you. Tell your friends to subscribe.
Yeah. Tell your grandma, send it to her and have her follow.
She needs this. We want her to live years longer, and this podcast will help her. Trust me.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that was good. A good tips and what we're doing and all that other stuff for the new year. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one, and Steven will too.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy
Work
New
your asses
Year.
off. Hit those goals.
New Year. Peace out, guys.